Hey y'all, Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And one thing, suggestion you often get heading to D.C. is people say they want to see the Smithsonian, or they recommend that I go to the Smithsonian. And it is confusing for people who have not been to Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian is not one museum. The Smithsonian is a chain, a countless number of museums. Okay, you could probably count them, but you'd have to take a second and kind of think about it. They're all free, and they're all down here on the National Mall, where lots of other famous historical government-related buildings are. So yeah, there's a lot, quite a few. I've been to a good chunk of them. I've done videos at the Natural History Museum as well as the American History Museum. Both are fantastic. I'll put links to my visits below so you can check those out if you'd like. I'd also been to the redheaded stepchild of the Smithsonian, the Postal Museum, one of my favorites because it has Oni the male dog. Check that out too. I'll put that below. Behind me is what is known as the castle. This is kind of the center point. It's not as much a museum itself as it is kind of an information center where people can go and find out more about the Smithsonian. And I've actually never been in there, so I'm gonna go head in and see what's in there. Follow me. So some people may ask themselves, what does Smithsonian mean? And it is named after a man, James Smithson. If you actually visit here at the Smithsonian, you can visit his interred body. That is James Smithson in that crypt right there. To all the attractions that tell me that I shouldn't video, that I shouldn't take pictures, I just want to point out we're at the Smithsonian. They say you can take photographs, you can sketch things you want. Just don't set up a tripod. You could trip someone. Don't poke anyone in the eye with a selfie stick, and don't get any food on the Constitution. Other than that, we're square. This is the Smithsonian treasure chest, a very amazing room here, and I guess they have some select Smithsonian items. Look at this. This is an early flight helmet for pilots, and it is the most steampunk helmet ever. There's the live panda cam from the Smithsonian Zoo. Someone maybe want to go check on that panda. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he's fine. Sleepy panda. Got taxidermy all up in the rafters. Look at that bird-eating biter. It's so big and creepy. Some famous sports memorabilia, including Brian Boitano's figure skates. All sorts of amazing things. In this case, we got a piece of the Wright brothers hangar, a chunk of the Hindenburg. That's pretty amazing. And most impressive of all, space bacon. And this kind of explains how the Smithsonian museums are laid out. We've got the Washington Monument at one end, the U.S. Capitol at the other. We're here, that twirling pink ball. We're at the castle. The National Gallery of Art, Natural History Museum across from us, and the American History Museum right there. And over here at the Air and Space Museum. This is pretty cool too. This is a map of the National Mall and all the Smithsonian museums for the vision impaired. Very cool. Alright, so I think that we are going to check out one of the Smithsonian museums that I've actually not had the opportunity to film, and that is the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum. So just quick walk down this way. Follow me. Here we are. So you walk in and you are completely blown away by an overabundance of airplanes and space rockets. Look at that. It's a lunar module. And what better way to start off the Air and Space Museum than the original aircraft, the bird. This is an interpretation from 1803 on how they thought that we would eventually obtain flight. And it was far more awesome than it ever actually ended up being. Lilienthal hand glider. See the guy up there? The set of wings. Is there anything more fun than watching those old videos of stupid looking airplanes crashing? It's probably not nice to laugh, but you know, in retrospect, it's pretty funny. Here are the unsung heroes of the sky, the flight attendants. Oh, look at that snazzy outfit. Back in the time when flying was considered fun. There's a flight attendant, and look at that. What a meal. I think that might be filet mignon. That is some good looking corn. Just walk up into this plane, I guess. Caution, low overhead. Don't want to bonk myself. Oh, look at that. Let's see how a plane works. Some of the seats that would be used by passengers. You can see the ashtrays back when smoking on planes was done for some reason. I can't help but feel that these old-timey plane bathrooms are actually larger than the ones they use today. And there's two of them. There's two of them. There's actually a sizing chart for the different types of planes. One's 20 inches, 17 and a half. I have a sneaking suspicion either they've gotten smaller or we've gotten bigger. There's some 1960s style flight and stewardess outfits. Apparently it was in fashion to dress like Pedro from south of the border. It's a luggage pickup area. What's in here? Oh, we got vaccines on their way to save the world. What's in there? I think there's like a kidney or something in there. Some gift shop items. You got a teddy bear that flies a plane. And then you got a plush Tuskegee Airman. Rule number 1 aboard, don't get your neck caught in barbed wire. German aircraft factory. Boo. Somewhere no good Germans. Well, there's a good, honest British mannequin. Look at that. It's just a big frickin' bomb. There's all these truly impressive planes hanging here in the rafters. And then there's this guy who looks like he made a plane out of Scotch tape. There's some World War II uniforms. I guess this is Italy. That guy's from Italy too. There's a Japanese soldier. Another Japanese soldier there. Yeah, we know where this guy's from. He's no good. Bad man. There's a Soviet soldier. That's a creepy flight mask, I think. And then here we have our own American soldiers. This is WASP's Women Air Forces Service Pilots. But one thing I noticed down here, this mascot here, this was designed by Disney as a mascot for the WASPS, and it's a gremlin, a flying gremlin. If you actually, there's a video game called Epic Mickey where they use some old discarded cartoon characters, and they use the gremlins in that. There's some unmanned drones. See, my drone is a little smaller and it hasn't blown up as many people. Exploring the planets. Here's all the planets. Well, there's the sun right there. Where's Earth? Oh, there's Earth right there. There's our planet. There's Uranus and Saturn. And where's little Pluto? And there is the Spirit of St. Louis. Flown by Charles Lindbergh before he became a Nazi sympathizer and had his baby murdered. American history is complicated. And look at that. There's Amelia Earhart's flight coat and her goggles. Here is the exhibit on these two men, the Wright brothers. Okay, I want to tell you something, but I gotta be really quiet. There's a security guard right there. The Wright brothers, possibly not the first people to ever fly. There's a man named Gustav Whitehead who has a documented flight where he flew half a mile before the Wright brothers ever took flight. But as you can see, here in the Smithsonian we have this wonderful giant room dedicated to the Wright brothers. And an interesting thing about that is when the Wright brothers family donated all these wonderful artifacts, such as this mandolin, Orville's mandolin, they wrote a contract up with the Smithsonian, and the Smithsonian had to agree that they would in nowhere in the museum mention Gustav Whitehead. This is dark stuff. And there he is, that wacky flying Wright brother. Are you ready for some space? Here's the glorious side of space travel. We got our fecal bag and our urine transfer tube. Who loves eating space food? Up here we got some Russian beef tongue and jelly. I'm sure that's delicious. Now, to me, this is the most amazing exhibit right here. We have Abel, the space monkey. He is the first monkey to ever make it to space and back. You can see he's in his cozy little launch chair there. See, we can't taxidermy Buzz Aldrin. We can't taxidermy Neil Armstrong and put him in a museum. But we can honor Abel, the space monkey, and have them right here in the Air and Space Museum. Also, as far as famous taxidermied animals go, Abel is one of the few animals that you can actually visit at two different museums. His taxidermied skin is here, and if you go to the the Museum of Health and Medicine, which is not too far from here, and another part of the Smithsonian chain, they have a skeleton. So one monkey, two museums. Oh wow, space pens. They have managed to create space technology within pens. Meet Robonaut 1. He's an experimental robotic astronaut assistant, and he definitely looks like he would turn on mankind. They want to know, what would you miss most if you went to space? Would you miss gravity? Yeah, flying's fun. Would you miss fresh food? No, yeah, plenty of that Russian beef tongue jelly. And going outside, that would be pretty rough. But space is cool. I think I would miss my family and pets. I don't think they allow space cats. So we say one coin is one vote. We're gonna say family and pets. Sky spies? So you mean there's people in the sky just looking down on us? Oh dear, there's one right now. Finally, I can find out how much I would weigh on another world. Oh, is it laughing at me? I guess we'll start with the Earth. That'll be our baseline. On Earth, we weigh 238 pounds. On Jupiter, 595 pounds. Oh man, don't go to Jupiter if you're on a diet. On the Moon, 40 pounds. Not bad. And of course, there's no reason here at the Smithsonian we have to stick to purely reality-based spaceships. There is the Enterprise. Touch an actual piece of the moon. It's a little moon shard. Oh wow. Touching the moon. I feel myself changing. I feel Power's moon-infused hand. What wonderful things can we do to humanity now with our new moon powers? So that was the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, home of Abel the Space Monkey. And I don't know if I mentioned this, the Smithsonian museums are all free. You could literally spend days down in Washington, D.C. without spending a dime at these amazing museums, because basically you already paid for them with your tax dollars. Hotels are expensive though, that's the one thing. Anyways, appreciate you guys coming along, joining me here at Washington, D.C. at the Space Museum. And if you'd like to see other museums I've been to, as well as other roadside attractions, other fun places, please check down in the description. There's an interactive map to show you where I've been, and you can tell me where I need to go. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please check down below. There's a t-shirt shop, as well as a Patreon page. If you donate at least $3 on Patreon a month, I will send you postcards on my journeys. But for now, this one's in the bag.